In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the layouts feature in Wirechunk. Layouts are powerful because they let you create a common structure to use across either your entire website or a section of your website, or even on arbitrary pages. Let's dive in and see how to use layouts. I've got a very simple website here with just 3 pages. I've got a home page, an about page, and a contact page. Notice as I click around, everything is the same except for the title of the page that we display here. So we've got a shared header and a shared footer. The way you could build this in Wirechunk, so now here we're in Wirechunk and we see the 3 pages listed, we could take that header component and the footer component and add it to every page like we do here. So we've got the main header, this with container, and a plain text component with the page title, and then the main footer. So this is the about page. We can look at the contact page, same structure, and then that again repeated on the home page. But this is not ideal because if we want to change something about the structure of every page, we wanted to insert another component, it means we have to update every page on our site. And second, it means that when you go to create a new page, then you have to remember to add the main header and the main footer. And these components, the header and the footer, are always there. And you're never going to change them or move them. So it would really be better to not have to deal with those components when you're working on a page. That's where layouts come in. So in Wirechunk, there's a page for layouts. And I'm going to create one here named, I'm just going to call it main. This is going to be the main layout. For matching mode, I'm going to leave it as auto matching using URL path prefix. What this means is this layout that I will create will automatically be matched for any page based on a specific URL path prefix. And that URL path prefix is specified here. The default is just the slash, and that's what I'm going to leave it as. Every page starts with a slash. So this path prefix is going to be matched for every page on our site. I'm going to go ahead and click create. Initially, it's a draft layout. I'm going to first design it and then change it to published. So here I'm going to put the main header component, and then there's a page component. This page component is available only when you're creating a layout. And then I'm going to put the main footer component. So the entire design of the layout is just using our main header that we want to display, a placeholder for the page, and the main footer. And the page component is just going to be whatever the design is of the page that the user is looking at. Let's go ahead and save this. And then I'm going to set the status to published and save it. Now, if we go back to the site, you'll see an issue after I refresh. Now we have the header doubled up and the footer doubled up, actually on all of the pages. That's because for those 3 pages, we're still displaying the main header and the main footer ourselves. So what we can do is really just clean it up. Remove the main header, remove the main footer, and this is the page we want. So this is the about page. Let's clean up the contact page, and then the home page. All right, let's go back and preview the site. Cool. So it looks the way it did originally. We've got the about, the contact, and the home page. But now, as we saw, any given page is just the contents of the page. When I'm designing the page, it's going to show the layout and it's going to show the design of the page within that layout. It's very convenient so you can see the full page, how it's actually going to look for users. If you want to isolate and just focus on the page design, you can click this button here, which is green and has a background initially. And when you click it to toggle it off, it's just going to display the contents of the page. So here you can keep working on the design. Let's go ahead and add something. Let's add a text component. Then if I go edit it and I just say hi, and I'll save it. I have a big margin here with the plain text, so that's why there's such a big gap. But then if I go back and preview that page, we see it within the layout. So the Wirechunk designer lets you toggle the layout on or off. This doesn't control how the page actually appears for users. This just controls what you see in the designer here, depending on what you want to see. If you want the entire design of the page with its layout, this is where you can enable it or disable it. Now let's go back to layouts and see what some other options are. When we create a layout, we can also set matching mode to be manually selected. Let's create another layout with just the header. I'm just going to call it header only. Let's create this. And this page is just going to have the main header. And again, the page. We do want the page displayed, but not the footer in this example layout. Let's save it. And then for me to be able to use it, I'm going to have to set it as published. Now for any page, I can change the layout to be this header only layout. So let's save that for the about page. So we're making the about page have the header only layout that we created. If I go back to our website and look at the about page, notice it has the header, the page itself, and no footer. It's using that new layout we created. So this way you can override the layout that's used for any given page by selecting it here from among the layouts shown. You can also disable the layout for a page by unchecking this enable layout checkbox and save. So now if I go back to the about page, after I refresh here, you see it just shows the content of that page itself. So there's no layout here. By default, every page is going to have the layout enabled. So enable layout will be checked like we see here on the contact page. But a layout will be displayed only if there's a layout that's manually set on that page, or if there's a layout that's automatically matched to that page. And the only way that a layout would be automatically matched, again, is if the page's URL path is found, or rather if the layout path prefix is found in the page's path itself. One more thing to see here is if I go, let's say, to the home page, and we've got our main layout currently showing. If I go back to the main layout and mark it as draft or archived, let's set it back to draft and save. When I view this page, it'll not display the layout. So it'll show the layout only if the layout is published. Those are all the things you need to understand to start using layouts in Wirechunk effectively, and I hope you use layouts more.